Hey everybody, my name's Rhythmic and welcome to another bass lesson. This is all about learning how to get creative and to improvise within a chord progression and to add a little pizzazz to what would probably just be kind of like a good old pedaling bass line. So this is kind of part of a series of learning how to play eighth notes, whether you're pulsing or pedaling. This particular video is going to focus mostly on pedaling eighth notes or playing with this kind of like legato groove where you're letting the notes kind of run into each other, but we're really going to talk about a couple of strategies for knowing what to play other than just the root note as you're moving through a chord progression to just add a little something something. So to get started, we're going to be doing all of these exercises kind of in this like minor sounding chord progression where we're going to be playing an A minor right here, we're going to be going to C, and then we're going to be going to D, and we're just going to basically play what would kind of sound like a verse chord progression using these three chords. As we do it, we're going to be playing our pedaling eighth notes, and then we're going to come up with a few strategies to say, like, all right, this is what we can do kind of towards the end of the bar to set up movement and to give something a little bit more interesting to our pedaling bass line. So to begin, let's just play through the form. We're going to pedal eighth notes. We're going to have just nice even attack, let them play kind of into each other like in this legato fashion, and it's going to sound like this. 2 bars on the A minor, up to the C, we'll go up to D, and then we'll return to the A minor. And this is definitely what you would do in like a rock song, maybe a pop song, whatever, but now we're going to integrate a couple other strategies to make it a little bit more exciting. So once you've got that down, now let's focus on what we can do to set up these changes. So a great thing to do to kind of provide musical symmetry and voice leading is to set up the downbeat of the bar. The downbeat is beat 1, so that means that if we're playing kind of consistent eighth notes, we can kind of choose that final eighth note of the bar, or the and of 4, to kind of play something that will either be something interesting rhythmically or will set up the movement that we're doing with a particular note choice. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of just play either like an open string or a dead note kind of thing on the and of 4, or maybe even the where we have 4E and just that last 16th note before the downbeat, and we'll see what that does to our bass line. So right there, you know, we're already adding just a little bit of a nuanced rhythmic attack just by kind of adding that, just to kind of set up the downbeat. Go and do it up to the D. Back to A. So that's a pretty cool, very simple thing to do. The next thing I'm going to do is choose a scale tone that will kind of help me just add another note. And in this situation, I realized, okay, I'm kind of playing to this chord progression in A minor. I'm going to look for a kind of a neighbor that is part of the scale. So if I'm playing an A, you know, G is real close. It's part of the scale. And I'm going to use that kind of as my neighboring tone. So I'm playing 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So again, that last eighth note of the bar, or the and of 4, is where I'm going to place this. And then I'm going to walk it up to the C by playing B, C. Again, it's kind of this neighboring tone, it's part of the scale, and it's great voice leading because, hey, A, B, C. What could be better than that? Then as I go up to the D chord next, I have a couple of options. I can stay to the notes in the scale, or I can play maybe down to the B and walk it up. I could overshoot it and play C, jump up to the E, and then down to the D. Or I can get super fancy and pick a note that's not part of the scale, but maybe a chromatic tone. Go C, C sharp, D. So let's take a look at how this will work. So here we have A, going down to that G. Now I'm going to walk B to C. I did the D. Getting to the D, I went down to the B and went up to the D. So that sounded cool from the C. That's cool. And then when I'm on that D, you know, I'm going down to that lower neighboring tone, that C, to play the D. So again, like mostly using scale tones. If I wanted to throw that chromatic motion in, going C, C sharp, D, it'll sound like this. And that's super cool. So these are just little things that you can do to spice up a pedaling bass line. There are plenty of exercises that I've written for this kind of thing. Head over to my website. My TrueFire channel and my Patreon page both have tab and notation for exercises that will coincide with this video and a lot of other stuff. So I hope this brings a little bit of spice to your playing. Know that the greatest thing you can do is kind of set up that downbeat, set up that one by using either an interesting rhythmic move, using scale tones, using chromatic motion, voice leading, and all those fun things. And then you can get even more creative to create some more complex lines. So if I said, well, what if I did more than just the end of 4? So that's a lot. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, but that's the general direction that this kind of technique can go towards. So I hope that you found this video helpful. Happy practicing, everybody. Keep it groovy.